What is going on, guys? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Piracy. Now, the gameplay you're watching is a game of Gotham City Imposters. I think I go 27-17. Pretty cool gameplay. I hope you guys will enjoy it. And it's really not related to the topic, so I'm just going to jump right in. Now, if you guys don't know what piracy is, it's the stealing of a digital product, like software, a game, something like that. And it's obviously illegal, although to many people it's not viewed to be as illegal as stealing something physical. For example, the commercials saying you wouldn't download a car, would you? And those are against music piracy. So piracy is a huge, huge problem in the world of gaming, and gaming companies are starting to research new ways to try to prevent it. And of course, I'm sure you guys have heard all of these words and initials and all this stuff. There are things like free-to-play, DRM, just really cheap games and sales. There's tons of different things that developers are trying to do, and I really just want to kind of touch on all of them and give you not really my opinion, but the facts about them, and trying to almost remove a little bit of the blame from the developers, because it really is a huge, huge problem to be a game developer and just see your product being stolen. I mean, imagine you made bread, right? You make loaves of bread. You make 100 of them every month. You should be able to sell all 100 of them, or maybe 99 or 98. You know, maybe a couple get stolen or rot away or something. But for gaming, the numbers are getting to the point where if you sell a PC game, between a third to a half of the players on the game are pirating it. And of course, I'm sure all the active Reddit readers out there saw that post last week about the game Game Dev Tycoon, where 97% of the players who played the game pirated the game. 97%. That means if that person made 100 cars or 100 loaves of bread or 100 cell phones, they made the money for 3 of them. That's ridiculous. That is actually disgusting to see. The fact that someone can put all this hard work. I don't even care that the game wasn't even like a legitimate game, like, you know, it was apparently copied or something, but the fact that you can put the work into making a game, you could put the work into something and earn 3% of what you're supposed to. I mean, that's just horrifying to me. Now, because of this, game companies are starting to go and try to find ways to prevent piracy. Now, the most known version and the most common version right now is a thing called DRM. DRM stands for Digital Rights Management, and it could be a lot of things. It's basically something you write into your game through code that prevents people from pirating the game. A lot of times, it'll force you to maintain a connection with some central server that verifies your game and makes sure you didn't pirate it. That is a very difficult way. Like, there's almost no way to pirate your way past that, but it's extremely intrusive into the gaming experience. For example, I'm sure you guys have heard about SimCity. SimCity has an always-on DRM mode, which is what that's called when it has to communicate with a central server. Basically, if you don't have internet on your computer, within 5 minutes of you playing the game's going to stop working. And it also means in 2 or 3 years, when EA gets bored of running the game and doesn't want to run the game anymore and they turn off their servers, it means we can't play the game anymore. And that is really... That sucks. I mean, if you spend $60 on a game, you expect to be able to play it. I mean, look at the previous SimCity game, SimCity 4. People are still playing it to this day. I mean, people play that game like crazy, and SimCity is a game that I could see myself playing, you know, when I graduate college, because it's a game that's really timeless. I mean, SimCity is a game, you know, you don't need super good graphics. You don't need a lot of processing power. It's just you trying to build a city. It's almost like Minecraft, a game that really, it's hard to get bored of, and it's just a good way, it's a good game. And DRM really does hurt that game. And of course, there's DRM that you don't really notice. Steam, for example. Every game that Steam publishes has its own DRM system. I can't recall the name. I think it's VLC? Something like that. Well, that's one of the benefits of publishing your game to Steam, is it comes with this pretty non-intrusive DRM scheme, where Steam includes a couple of its own files, and they're really hard to decipher, and it works really well. So, as for DRM, as for like the always-on internet thing, Steam probably has the best solution right now, and EA's just isn't on that level. That's really the way I look at it. Now, of course, there are other ways to try to prevent piracy other than including a layer of code on your game. There's, of course, just removing the whole problem by making your game free to play. Now, free to play games are nowhere close to being as profitable as $60 games. That's an outright fact. But they are debatably just as profitable as making a $60 game and having some of the copies pirated. With a free-to-play game, you're relying on a small percentage of users spending a lot of money. The majority of players who played a free-to-play game aren't going to spend much, if any, money on it. They're going to play the game like it was a normal game. They're going to spend slightly longer than usual leveling up and trying to get items, and they're going to live without items, and they're perfectly happy being that, and the game's probably going to have a shorter life cycle because of it. But it is relying on that small number of users who are going to pay a lot of money, to be the best at that game. And that is kind of... No one really knows the long-term effects of a free-to-play game. No one knows whether it's going to be a long-term profit, whether you're going to be able to actually make your company survive. I mean, look at Zynga. The king of the free-to-play game is basically bankrupt at this point. They are in such bad shape. There's nothing they can do at this point to fix it. And free-to-play can't be the only thing to blame for Zynga's situation just because they copy games like crazy. I mean, they literally just flat out steal games from other companies and repost them. But it's kind of an example. They were one of the leaders of the free-to-play. It's not really a genre, but the idea of free-to-play, and they are screwed at this point unless they get bought out. So we don't know whether free-to-play games are going to be profitable forever, but it is an option that's there right now because you can make a little bit of money off of a free-to-play game. And there is an in-between where you can make your game pretty cheap, and that is another thing that Steam does really well to incorporate DRM and anti-piracy measures into their games. By doing Steam sales, it kind of puts an argument into the fact that people might not have enough money to buy a $60 game, but they have enough money to buy a $10 game. And while that might not seem, $10 versus $60, the company's making 1/6 of what it could, it does... One, it can... I got dogs barking upstairs. Sorry if you guys can hear that in the background. It can increase sales a lot because, more people can spend less money. And it also prevents piracy because if you're one of the people who pirates games just because you don't have enough money, $10 is a lot less to chew off than $60. I mean, when I think of $60, I think of, I have to save up for that. Oh, it's going to take me a couple weeks. I have to get this money together. When I think of $10, I think of me buying a couple Gatorades for my team for basketball. I mean, that is money I'll spend in a heartbeat. I make impulse buys all the time that are $10. $10 is a very affordable thing, while $60, while only being 6 times that, seems completely out of whack for a game. So that's another possible solution. Piracy is such a complicated issue. It really is difficult to find a solution. Of course, piracy is never going to go away. There's no way that people are ever going to completely stop stealing something until availability becomes, constant, I guess. I don't know. But a good example of a great solution to piracy that has nothing to do with games at all, it's Netflix. I saw a study on Reddit yesterday. Now, of course, a lot of Reddit studies are biased, so take this information with a grain of salt. But wherever Netflix is available, the percentage of torrents versus the percentage of views per the movie vastly decreases. I mean, torrenting and piracy just goes down when people have the option to do something and do it justly. They're gonna prefer that option. I mean, Netflix is $10 a month or less. I think it's like $7.50 a month, and you can watch all the movies you want. Now, of course, GameFly is a thing, similar thing, but not executed well. But if someone could come out with a way that you could have a subscription to play multiple games, say each game developer, each publisher had a system where you pay, say, $10 a month and you get access to all of their games, and say you get to, offline mode, all that stuff, that would, I think, greatly decrease the amount of piracy you would see. I mean, yes, there are going to be a lot of flaws to that idea. It's tough to have a subscription and still earn enough money. It's tough to divide the money up because there's no way to tell, who's playing what, who deserves what. But I really do think that a subscription that includes multiple games could be the way to go to prevent piracy. That's just my opinion. This commentary went on for a really long time, so I apologize if you guys got bored. This was the first try I had doing it today, but I've spent probably 4 hours in front of the microphone trying to spit out this commentary. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. My voice is a little gravelly because I've been playing volleyball, and if you guys don't know, volleyball is a very cheery sport. Like, you have to scream and get hyped and get pumped because your reactions have to be so on point. If you're even the tiniest bit depressed, you know, you're gonna get shit on, basically. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. There might be a little bit of a black screen toward the end because I ran on a little extra and I'm doing it in Audacity. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.